All right, let's go through my Hugo Ballot because I got a supporting membership before a lot more controversy happens, which is just a whole can of worms. But I already paid my $50, so I'm gonna vote so I can nominate next year as well. And a lot of these creators had nothing to do with how Worldcon is managed by some inconceived ideas and people. Like the ChatGPT thing that happened, I could have been like, well, people just don't understand that there's different tech that could do the same thing, and just the tone deafness of it all. But then there was a panel, and how did that get through the whole group chat? I don't know who's managing this, but that was ill-conceived. But regardless, these are going to be my votes. I might try and predict what I think will win. When I tried to give myself a rubric, I'll let you know, but there's really no rules. You just rank vote. And, there's nothing that asks you, did you read this book? And I don't quite do Goodreads Choice Awards where I, always vote for things, even if I haven't read them, but it is a popularity contest, still. But sometimes I do still put some stuff because categories need to be voted on so that they keep the categories. But also, sometimes I do have people who I want to see get recognized even if I haven't consumed their art yet. And I don't know. Maybe you'll hate that, maybe you won't. This is just the best that I've chosen to do. And let's be real, my one vote isn't really shifting any levers here. Quite frankly, more often than not, the thing I vote for loses. So, all right. So that said, we're going to start with the Astounding Award, which is not a Hugo, but we vote for it in the Hugos. I think the only distinction is who sponsors it. I haven't been in the weeds enough to understand the distinction between a not Hugo award and a Hugo award when the voting base is identical. I don't know. But this is a category where I ranked everything even though I've read nothing, which I normally don't do. Other categories, I usually have had to read it, but these first two categories we're going to talk about, I got a little weird because I hadn't read anything, but I still wanted to at least put in some votes. And so I kind of did it in order of my interest / how I feel people in my circles feel about it. So to kind of sort of, I don't want to say vote on their behalf, but kind of taking what I have heard and using that to influence my rank voting. And so number one, I have Monachil. I don't know if I'm saying her name correctly, but Black Goose, who wrote the Dragon's Breath book that I have read the first chapter of at least, and I'm excited. So that's my rank one. My rank two is The West Passage, which I've also read a chapter of and would like, to continue reading eventually. And my rank three is Bethany Jacobs, who a lot of people in my corner of the internet really like, and the last book of her trilogy comes out this year. And both her and Monachil Black Goose, this is their second year, and you only get 2 years of eligibility for this award, which is basically to highlight new authors. Then we have Hannah Kaner as my rank four, who just finished the God Killers trilogy. I don't even know if that's the name of the trilogy, by the way, but I know the first book is God Killers. And then I put Angela Liu at 5 and Tia Tashiro at 6. I know very little about both of them, but again, since I was kind of ranking a bunch of people I hadn't read from, it felt weird to not rank them. I don't know if that was the best approach, but chances are my 5 or 6 won't be counted because I think one of my top 4 is going to win. I think it might be my rank 1. I would like it to be my rank 1. I would like it to be Monachil Black Goose. But I don't know. I have no idea. Moving on to the Lodestar. So this one I didn't quite rank everything, even though it is the same situation where I haven't read any of these books. Which first though I should talk about Moonstorm by Yoon Ha Lee was withdrawn. Because of the ChatGPT controversy, he decided he didn't want his book here anymore, I think, based off some light Googling I did on Blue Sky. Because Moonstorm is a young adult book, written for young adult readers, so that's not the controversy here. It's just that, like I said, Worldcon's been managed in an interesting way this year. And although I haven't read all of these, there was one book who I'd read by the author before, so I wanted to give her my vote because I loved the book so much. So this is the prequel to A Lot's Away. I don't know if I'm going to say it right. Sheni Lendy by Darcy Little Badger. It's a prequel. I adored A Lot's Away, and I've loved the short fiction by this author. So maybe if I had read all of these, it wouldn't be my rank 1. I'll never know because I don't read a lot of young adults and I don't have the time to read all of these. But I do know she would be deserving of an award if I read it. So I put her at rank 1. We'll now move on to Best Poem, where I'm just going to keep it unranked. I think this is the special category for the Hugos this year. I just don't read poetry. and I don't have the brain space to read these right now. I mean, I even know one of the authors, Marie Brennan, has a War of Words that was in Strange Horizons. I don't have the brain space right now. I mean, if they applied music to these poems, we would be having a very different conversation, because I do love a song. But a poem is just not my thing. All right, next up, Best Fan Artist. And I did at least take a minute to go through all the art to vote, because if you don't vote in categories and they don't reach a certain percentage, they go away. And honestly, in the year where we are not appreciating people practicing art either for a hobby or professionally, I figured I should look at these. I wasn't able to do that with Fan Writer. It's a lot harder, I think, for me to consume written word pieces than it is for me to like look at a visual piece of art and go, that's pretty. And I'm not going to give you my whole ranking for it. I will go through each of them and show you a piece of art. I do have a 1 rank because I just thought it was so unique. But Clark does a lot of Doctor Who related art that I really like. We got Felix right here. Meg Frank, who I also ranked kind of highly. I enjoyed their style. We have Allison Scott here, and then Espana Sheriff. And my number 1 was Michelle Morel, because they made a bookmark with a pattern, and I just thought that was so creative. Like, I just really liked the creativity of that. So again, I didn't put like a boatload of thought into this, but I did rank things. I did go through it. I saw things. And again, I don't have the energy to go through Best Fan Writer, so unfortunately I'm leaving that unranked. I will say that this video is going up before voting is due, not by a lot of time. It's due probably like a day after you're seeing this. So if you are like, hey, I really love this fan writer, you should support them, I might take that into consideration, because I would like to vote. I just have no basis. I only recognize one name, and it's from the controversy from 2 years ago, and I don't think that's a reasonable enough situation to vote for it, you know? Next up is Best Fan Cast, and again, I haven't consumed any of these podcasts. And you know, maybe there's also a part of me that's like, YouTubers never get put on this, and I'm a YouTuber, and I would like to see my side represented, and I don't know. It just feels like I'm not a part of that part of the fandom, and I don't really have strong opinions about joining it either, because I don't consume that many podcasts. I consume currently 2 podcasts. The Smallville podcast and the Science Versus podcast, and that's it. Next up, we have Best Fanzine, and I'm probably going to rank Black Nerd Problems just because I kind of like their project, but I haven't consumed any of these, so I don't have strong opinions about them. I assume Fanzine is like our magazines, but they don't make a profit or anything like that. I still don't quite know the distinctions. But I did vote for Semiprozine, okay? So Semiprozine, my rank 1 is Faya, because I love Faya. I love their Ignite Awards. It's one of the few magazines I've purchased editions from. Korea's my second because I love a translated project. I truly do. Third is Strange Horizons, because I feel like they're the unappreciated popular ones that I hear about. And I've left unranked the Deadlands and Escape Pod because I've never consumed them. I'm still on the fence on if I will give Uncanny Magazine rank 4. On one hand, they do produce and facilitate a lot of quality to the speculative fiction space. On the other hand, they win every year. And I think we should let somebody else win just once in a while. Like, for example, you'll notice I can't vote for Clarkesworld. Clarkesworld is also a big juggernaut, but they recuse themselves. So, I don't know. I'm on the fence about my Uncanny Magazine rank, but that's where my other ones are. And now into Best Professional Artist. I did spend some time looking at these. And this is, again, art is very subjective. So I'm just going to go through them in alphabetical order and show you the art. So we have Michaela Alcano. We have Audrey Benjamison. I hope I'm saying that right. We have Rovina Kai. Maurizio Manziri. Tran Union. And Alyssa Winans. And my favorite was Rovina Kai. I don't know. I just really loved this style. I thought I would buy that. Like, that was my ranking system, was, would I put that on my wall? That's really it. Next up, we have Best Editor Long Form. This was kind of cool to go through because I could see what works different editors worked on. To be qualified for this, I believe you had to have worked on, I think it's at least 3 works that were published previously that were considered novel length. And I just went through and I based it a little bit because some of them did write a little bit about how their process works as an editor, like their own little mini personal statement. Nothing too long. And then they showed the books that they did. And with a combination of that, I chose my rank voting. I'm not really going to go through it because I don't know if it's that interesting to you guys. I'll say my rank 1 is Carl Anglin Laird. I think they had a really good blend of stuff that I liked, but also was a big proponent of bringing unique thoughts. Like, he had a combination, I think it's he, Carl, of things that I loved and things that I didn't love, but all of them were pushing the boundaries of genre, and I just appreciate that. Like, I just really enjoy that. Next up is short form. So they had a similar thing where they showed you the short stories and novellas and the magazines they work for and things like that. And I know it's basic to put Neil Clark as your number 1, but truly this man is in the trenches with the AI warfare right now. Like, I see him on social media all the time, and I really do love Clark's World. Like, I think that's one of my favorite magazines, even though I can't vote for them here. And so he's the one that I really put forth. And the rest that I hadn't consumed too much by, I have dabbled in a lot of theirs, but he's just my number 1. So again, I know that's kind of basic, but I think it's a combination of what they're curating and also what they're trying to do to elevate authors and to fight to keep your magazine AI free when it's getting harder and harder to do so is, I think, a good thing. For best game or interactive work, I have only put down The Legend of Zelda on behalf of Ryan because he played that game and liked it, and we knew nothing about any of the other games. I mean, I know about Dragon Age, The Veilguard, which, if I was a betting woman, would win this category, but I don't know. But neither of us have played it, so. All right, next up, best dramatic presentation short form. Again, I only ranked the things that I've watched, so I haven't watched Fallout, and I haven't watched Star Trek Lower Decks. I know, sue me. I put Agatha All Along's episode at 1 because I loved that episode. I mean, I'd also just love... that episode was really awesome on its own, but also in the context of the series. It was really good. Then I did 73 Yards for Doctor Who because that's Doctor Who horror at its best, in my opinion. Very psychological, very what is happening. And then maybe controversially, I put Dot and Bubble from Doctor Who below that. I thought it was good. I didn't think it was mind-blowing, but I thought it was good. Next, we have Best Dramatic Presentation Long Form. Now, this is my current ranking, because I'm not ranking things I haven't watched. But I'm hoping this weekend to maybe watch one of them. So if, by the time I actually put in my ballot, I've watched I Saw the TV Glow, that could end up shifting things. But I haven't watched it yet. So this is my ranking without that. Rank 1 is The Wild Robot, which, guys, I watched on a plane, and I put at rank 1. Consider this. Consider how much I have to love something to watch it on a plane. Bad audio, really bad visuals, still love it. That was adorable. I loved that. My 2 and 3, I'm on the fence about, but I think I put Dune Part 2 at number 2, which is going to win this category, so I don't even know why I care that much. And then I put Mad Max Furiosa at number 3, because I felt about the same for both of them. They were also very different saturation points of sand, and I think I prefer the saturation point of Mad Max Furiosa. But yeah, and then 4th, I put Wicked. But again, Dune Part 2 is probably going to win this. We'll see. If my opinion about I Saw the TV Glow is what I predict it to be, just assume everything gets pushed down a step. But I haven't seen it yet. Next up is Best Related Work, and I've consumed 4 of these things somehow already. My rank 1 is for the Fantasy Reddit Bingo, if only because, I've been doing that since 2016, I think, maybe 2018. I don't know. It got me into the reading hobby, into social media for book people, and I really appreciate it for that. And I think it's really well run for the most part, and it's changed hands multiple times. It's a labor of love. They always do the April Fool's board first. I appreciate it. 2, I put for the statistics thing on the Chinese Hugo drama, because I love stats. I love anyone who's willing to show us all the stats. And then followed up the report that was done. And then my number 4 is the spectacular failure of the Star Wars Hotel, because I'm not going to lie, I love watching mess, and watching that 4-hour mess was pretty cool. Man, they couldn't have been lazier if they tried when it came to that hotel. And it's wild how much it cost. I'm unranking Best Graphic Story or Comic. I have so little knowledge to be able to rank any of these above the other. I have no idea. It's just one of those things. And I think it's a well-loved enough category. It'll get enough votes without me. But like, I can't start at Monstrous Volume 9, which is the one that intrigues me the most, but I know nothing about it. I don't know if you can start Star Trek Lower Decks at Warp Your Own Way. I know nothing. I don't like reading graphic novels either. I'm someone who can either focus on visuals or words. Putting them together, I've always struggled with. Like, I was the kid who never looked at the pictures in the picture book. So I'm just not very good at it. All right, now we're a little more in my wheelhouse, which is best series. And I think I did decide. I originally had this one way, but I'm right now in real time. I'm switching it. Okay, so at number 4, because I didn't read all of these. So I didn't read The Tyrant Philosophers, and I didn't read Encrypted. I kind of tried. I meant to read Encrypted. And honestly, I'm done reading Adrian Tchaikovsky for a while. I've met my quota with him this year. In the future, maybe. So they're unranked for me because I didn't read them. But at 4, I put Between Earth and Sky. I read Black Sun years ago. 2020, when it came out. Is that the year it came out? I liked it. I didn't love it. It didn't make me continue the series. And that was my main barometer for the lower rankings that I've done is, did it make me continue the series? Because that's a qualifier for best series for me. Like, did it make me want to keep going? Because I probably like Black Sun more than any of the books that I've read in the Southern Reach series, but that's what I put at rank 3 because I do want to continue the Southern Reach series. I've had a mixed bag of an experience, but I do keep wanting to enter that world and seeing what weird shows up next. Like, I think I'm going to read the 3rd book next month. And then number 2, I put The Stormlight Archives by Brandon Sanderson. I mean, one of my favorite series of all time. But I really want to highlight The Burning Kingdoms, which is what I put at rank 1. I love Tasha Suri, and I don't think she's going to win this category. I don't know what's going to win this category. Maybe Southern Reach. I don't know. I don't have strong opinions. I know Shauna McGuire is also a darling, so Encrypted could, but I don't know how many people actually read it. I don't have a strong opinion about what's going to read, but I wanted to give every strength and ounce of vote that I could to Tasha Suri, so that's why she's my rank 1. Even if the 3rd book's not my favorite, I do love the 1st book quite a bit, and I think it's a really nice, complete arc of a story. Next up, we're going into short stories, and I did actually read all the short stories and all the novelettes. We did this in my Patreon. It was actually a really stellar discussion. And so these are my ratings. I don't like Marginalia, so that's number 6. Like, I actively don't know why that's on this list. I don't think it's good. There is no universe in which the 50s to hundreds of short stories that came out this year, this should have been considered. It is so okay, it hurts. And then there's stuff that if I pick at it too much, I'm like, I really don't like the theming of any of this. So it's an okay plot. With theming, I find and then I just have always had a miss with the writing style of Mary Robinette Kowal. I don't know why. I know she's a Hugo darling, but I've just always had a miss with it. At 5, I'm putting The 3 Faces of Beheading. I liked it, but I didn't get it by Arcady Martine. I have no idea what's happening here. It was just a little too not grounded for me. Like, I kind of saw the shape of what she was doing, but I never felt like I was comfortable in it. 4, I put The 5 Views of the Planet Tartarus. This is flash fiction. Super short. It led to an insane amount of conversation, and that is why I ranked it above the Arcady Martine. Not necessarily because I love it, or I think it's memorable, or special, but the amount of conversation we had, I thought was really enriching. Number 3, I'm putting Stitched to Skin Like Family Is by Nevo. I liked it. I liked this story. It had a very interesting atmospheric quality to it as you unravel what we're going to do here. And it has like this use of magic with clothing and like history and family and stuff that I really enjoyed. 2 is We Will Teach You How to Read. It is incredibly experimental. You probably need to read this on the website, okay? Like, and maybe with the audio at the same time, because they did a whole audio thing. This is done in such a weird, in parallel way. And it's definitely an allegory for language, like loss of language, and what does that mean for the existence of a species, but insert that into culture and grief. It's so interesting and experimental. It didn't quite have enough character for me to be emotionally invested, but I really appreciate its existence. And my number one is probably the one that's going to win, not because I pick winners, but because it's already won other awards. And it's just so timely, and it's so memorable. It's incredibly memorable. And that is Why Don't We Just Kill the Kid in the Omelette Hole? Like, this is just truly, like, of all of these, and it's been a month or so since I've read them, this is the one that I'm like, yeah, I still think of this one. And I think it's funny because it's about, like, circular conversations and performative attitudes on the internet over social issues. And it's in conversation with Ursula K's Le Guin story about Omelas. I won't remember even the name of it because I've never read it, because isn't that how these conversations go? You don't even necessarily know the source. You've consumed so much commentary on the source. I like the meta nature of it. It's angry in a way that I'm angry, or frustrated, or just numb or dejected. It just, I think, captures something. And sometimes I like awards to capture a snapshot of where we are. And I think this story does that. All right, Novelette. This one was harder to figure out my lower rankings, or maybe my middle rankings. Lower and higher, I was pretty good on. Because I didn't really like Signs of Life by Sarah Pinsker. Didn't do anything for me. Wasn't bad, didn't do anything for me. It was really weird. The speculative twist was very subtle and I don't think well thought out. I have liked so many other Sarah Pinsker things so much more. 5, I put By Salt by Sea by Light of Stars by Premi Mohammed. I was pretty frustrated with the main character in this one, but it was honestly one of the easier Premi Mohammed I've ever read. Like, it was very readable. But I really didn't like the decisions the main character was making. Even if they were human decisions, I didn't like it. 4 is The Brotherhood of Montague St. Video. I liked this one a lot. Maybe this one should be higher. This is why I'm like, I don't know what I was doing with my middle rankings. Like, I feel like 2, 3, and 4 are interchangeable for me. But this one, this is a world where they don't have print books anymore. And what happens when our main character has a print book all of a sudden? And why don't we have print books anymore? What changes when we only have digital, and digital things can be changed without us knowing it? And how does that change stories? Really interesting, and it kind of had a Fahrenheit 451 dystopian tension about it. 3 is The Four Sisters Overlooking the Sea by Naomi Kritzer. I really like Naomi Kritzer. She's just so easy to read from. This one arguably is not super speculative, but I got emotional. I wanted to punch a character pretty bad in this book. And so I just enjoyed it because it made me emotional. That ranks kind of highly for me. 2 is Loneliness Universe. This is a pandemic book. Or not a book, a novelette. And I just remember it capturing how it feels to be so close but so far from people. Like, now that it's 2025 and I am 5 years removed from lockdown, it reminds me of lockdown in a way that I find cathartic and very accurate. So I appreciate it for that. And then 1 is Lake of Souls by Anne Leckie. I loved this. I almost got her collection that this is in, except it has so many stories from other worlds that I haven't read from her. But I have such a mixed experience with Anne Leckie. So Lake of Souls is 2 point of views, which I wasn't expecting. 1 is like an alien species that truly is very alien and has its own culture and like anatomy and existence on this planet. And then you have a human who ends up here for reasons. And it doesn't go the way you would expect. And it's so interesting. And it even has like 2 types of storytelling styles. Like, the human side feels like, I don't know, Project Hail Mary-ish. But the alien side is more folklore and coming of age. And I loved it. I was so in. I was enraptured. I was like, wow, I adore this. So, yeah, that's my number 1. I don't know what the winner of this will be. Naomi Kritzer's a darling. Anne Leckie's a darling. Sarah Pinsker's a darling. I don't know. I could see The Brotherhood of Montague St. Video going pretty far. But yeah, I have no strong opinions about what might win. Okay, so best novella. Full disclosure, I don't like novellas, right? This is me, Angela. I'm not a big novella person. I try really hard, and the occasional novella will sneak into my life, but I don't enjoy them. I enjoy watching a movie. It takes the same amount of time, so if I'm going to spend 2.5 hours consuming a story, I want it to be a movie. But I did, over the past week, read 3 novellas, in addition to the one I've already read. So I would at least have had 4 to read, so I could rank some of these. And I tried to read the other novellas that were on many, many lists in other awards, just so I could kind of feel what were the best novellas 2024 had to offer. And so, weirdly enough, the one that is the most nominated, like it's on every novella list, is The Butcher of the Forest. This is my least favorite of the novellas I read. I don't even think it was a Headspace thing, because I read another novella right after it that I loved, I adored, oh my god. And I read a novella before it that I really enjoyed. So I don't think it was a Headspace problem. I think it was, this one just didn't work for me. It is a dark, creepy forest that these really spoiled brat kids from the tyrant ruler go into. They're actually not that much of a spoiled brat kids, but these children who do not understand that they should not go into this forest under any circumstance end up in this forest. The tyrant ruler of the land forces our main character to go save them because she's the only one who's ever done it before, or else he will destroy her village. And it's about this adventure for her to go get the kids and come out. And honestly, it should work. Like, on paper, it should work. But I just don't like it that much. I don't know why. The second half was way stronger for me than the first half. But I think if it had an audiobook, I would have liked it a half star to a full star more than I did. So I think part of it is the sentences were really long, which I know is not like a great reason, but like cadence in syntax is important for my brain and how it processes. And if I'm going like 7 lines and we haven't broken up the sentence, my brain finds it really hard to stay awake. I just kept going into sleep mode, is what I call it. You know, like when like suddenly I've read a page, but I don't know what I've read. My number 3 is I'm putting What Feasts at Night by T. Kingfisher. I liked it. I thought it was good. I don't think it should win this award. It might, because everyone loves T. Kingfisher, but I think it's truly good. I read it last year. I don't remember a lot about it. It's good. Number 2, The Tusks of Extinction. I enjoyed this one a lot, and I think it was a story that worked really well in the novella format, being short. It has a fascinating question of how do you bring back an extinct species that doesn't culturally remember how to be a species, and their solution for this, and how does it relate to poaching, and how humans are always searching for resources that are so depleted that we don't even care if we make them extinct. I think both those conversations work really well in this format, and the kind of dual POV-ness-ish that we do. I'm definitely interested in reading more of his works. And then hands down, my favorite, like tiers above the rest of these, is The Practice, the Horizon, and the Chain. Goodness, this is a perfect novella for me. Because if it was longer than a novella, if it was longer than it currently is, I would hate it. Like, no, I could not sit with this longer than I did. And it's oddly very cerebral. It's very in characters' heads. There's not a lot of action, but it works really well for me in terms of the themes it's exploring and how we're exploring it. In some ways, this is so like things you've seen before. This is a generational ship or a Snowpiercer train car where you have lower tiers, middle tiers, higher tiers. We are stratified. We're in caste systems. Literally, the lowest caste is in chains. Okay? And it takes it from the academia side of how academia is well-intentioned, is always trying to strive to give opportunities to people, but academia is a part of the system. I mean, we're seeing it right now, how tethered to its funding academia is. And funding is always held by those in power, and those in power are the ones who have made the system as it stands. So it has this huge conversation around that, but it does it through these individuals, these people with their own histories and relationships to the system. It's only 120 novella pages, so probably only like 100 normal pages. And there's a moment that emotionally hit me so hard. And the ending I really liked, because this wasn't your standard, we just have to do X and we will fix the system. Because I don't think that is a reasonable trajectory for the story as it was set up. But it did give me hope. It was so sad, so emotional, and yet so hopeful for me. And I appreciated that immensely. And it really worked for me. I wasn't expecting to love this one. This is why I challenge myself to read things that are outside my comfort zone. It worked. Now into the novels, where I don't have that type of win. I don't think anything... There's one 4.5 star, but it's not a 4.5 star that I would think is award-worthy, but I don't think anything's award-worthy, so I'm just doing it by ratings, okay? So my number 6 is my DNF service model. I don't think it's necessarily not worthy of award, so I'm not, like, unranking it, but I did DNF this book. So it's number 6. 5 is Alien Clay by Adrian Tchaikovsky. I didn't like this book. It was like a 2-star read. 2.5-star read. I did not enjoy the main character. It does not work for me in terms of its type of rebellion story, even if I agree with everything they're rebelling against. It's very timely. I get why if the main character's voiciness works for you, if you aren't having a boring time like I was, this would work. I totally see it. Alas, I was bored to tears. Absolutely bored and wanting to punch the main character. So somehow I put Ministry of Time above that, which is truly the most fine book I've read in an incredibly long time. 3 stars. Thematically, I don't think this sticks with me. I think about the characters a little bit. I think about how I was mowing my lawn and watering my plants while I listened to it, and that was like a nice way to spend my time. But I don't think about the story itself very often. Number 3, I'm putting Someone You Can Build a Nest In. It's kind of gotten less good for me the further I get away from it. Not necessarily bad, it's just, it was a 4-star, and now it's a 3.5 star. That's just kind of what's happened. It didn't stay at the 4-star, it's left my brain. Number 2, The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett. This has probably been elevated a tiny bit by how much I liked its sequel. And it's a cool world. I like bumbling about in it. I think it's really interesting to look at. So yeah, that's my number 2. And so, again, the only 4.5 star is A Sorceress Comes to Call by T. Kingfisher. I don't know what's going to win this category. Adrian Tchaikovsky, by all accounts, probably should win because he has 2 books on the short list, but I think that might split the vote. At least before the rank votes can catch up, unless everyone who votes for it all rank Adrian Tchaikovsky's books 1 and 2. I think mathematically it might be a split vote. I don't know. I guess I'll see when I see the results. So I feel like it's gonna be... I think it's between A Sorceress Comes to Call and The Tainted Cup. Like, I truly do. I don't think the Hugo voters are going to like Someone You Can Build a Nest In as much as the Nebula voters. I could be wrong. I have no idea. So we'll find out. I am unenthused by it, though. I'm more excited for the long list than anything else. So in a month, we'll have the long list, we'll have the results, and we'll go through it together. What are your thoughts on any of these? Any of these you wish got more attention and more votes? And like I said, voting closes like a day from today. So if you are a voter, this is your sign to get your ballot together. Because I almost forgot to. And if you just want to leave an emoji to let me know you're here, leave a spaceship, because that's the Hugo symbol. And otherwise, like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.